draft phase for Nouns Esports versus Orangutan, the first game of the match. Let's see what they end up banning this time round.
Oh, wow, I like this already. A targeted Urshifu ban towards the side of Orangutan. However, they're going to be banning away the Atelion. I know either 60s or Desu can play this Pokemon extremely well, so some very intelligent bans on both sides. And we're going to have a lot of defenders available once we get into the pick part of this ban, because, of course, an attacker and an all-arounder now going to be sitting on the bench for this first game.
But the thing is, which defender do you pick up first? Because they are all available there. It looks like Bruv is hovering over that Lapras. I must say, a very, very good choice.
Wow,
oh, wait,
a last-minute pivot here. A Desu is going to be playing the Zacian for Nouns Esports. A team that we haven't seen very much Zacian from any of these Western teams, much less EU, so it's going to be very interesting to see Nouns Esports try to pull it off. The thing is, Orangutan does have the chance to grab double defender, and they're going to immediately select that. Ice and BKZ grabbing these two. Lapras top path has obviously been proven in success in past tournaments, and Bruv's Trevenant looked amazing, starting from AOS Cup and every monthly final since. Their Trevenant has been game-changing.
Well, that's the thing. Yes, obviously, Lapras and Umbreon, they're great defenders, but it all comes down to the player, right? How you are able to use that Pokemon to the best of your abilities. We have Giz picking up that Hoopa as well.
Yeah, I mean, Nouns Esports fans are definitely excited about Giz on this Hoopa. That Rapid Fire Scarf and Muscle Band are going to prove to be a very powerful A-button presser in the early game. Watch out for Giz to grab that red buff and be a huge problem. Now, 60s and Gatlu need to find their selections. And of course, we've seen a lot of powerful games from 60s on a few different options, but Delphox is here.
We get a Delphox, but we also get a Gatlu Dodrio, and we have seen this time and time again. And I must say, I am a big fan of Gatlu Dodrio.
Oh, yeah, how could you not, right? All right, the final selection is going to be Leafeon for the side of Orangutan. So, Leafeon we tend to see in a few interesting spots. I think more commonly we see it in the top half. However, we are going to be playing Central Area for this Pokemon. Lapras a bit too slow of a clear to put it in Central Area. Not quite the Pentaflex that we would like to see it these days. However, Leafeon being grabbed by Xingdi is going to be really interesting. You talked about how excited you were to see this player. Have you seen much of their Leafeon? What do you expect from this one?
To be honest, no, I haven't actually seen very much of Xingdi's Leafeon, so I don't know what they are going to bring to the table here, but we'll have to wait and see, because that is quite the chunky front line there on the side of Orangutan.
It's going to be so exciting. Nouns Esports trying to keep their tournament hopes alive. Orangutan trying to seal the deal. Spraggles and Doom Snacks bring us into game one.
Here we are, Nouns Esports up on the main stage, and they are fighting for their tournament life. First picking a Zacian, not at all what I would expect from Nouns.
No, I love it, though. These Western teams are dabbling into some of the Eastern strategies. I don't know if it's adapting on the fly. I don't know if they came to the same conclusions. But Zacian, when it's been unlocked, has come online early and taken over games. 3-hat Dodrio, it's a good start out of Gatlu, of course. But I'm going to be focusing on Adesu Zacian, who really, last UCS, sparked up the stage with their Dragonite. I'm hoping to see a repeat performance here.
Now, I'm hoping we get something really exciting out of this Delphox choice from Nouns Esports. I have to say that, unfortunately, I have not seen Delphox, make a huge difference in a lot of these games. I feel like Delphox was expected to be such a big Pokemon in the Championship Series, but it just really doesn't feel like it's the playmaker that it is more in solo, duo, or trio environments. However, that Unite move, massive, able to take away the healing from 3 big Pokemon on the other side. The Lapras, the Umbreon, and of course that Clefable. If they can position that Unite move right, it will be devastating. But it feels like a lot of these professional teams are kind of able to make their way around that.
All right, well, you're talking a lot about Nouns. Let's see a little bit about Nouns. So let's take a look. Throw it up on the screen.
Yeah, and here we have Nouns Esports. This was them against Tally Bobo Believers, a team we have not seen yet today. I gotta say, EU, unfortunately, has not shown up yet in this competition. Nouns is in trouble of going home. Time to Shine has already gone home, and so has Team Peps.
Correct.
Outside of these 2 teams, our top 2 teams from EU, we have no one from EU possibly representing their region here in day 2. Nouns needs these victories against Orangutan to move forward.
Yeah, obviously, as we're going through these Nouns Esports highlights, specifically against Tally, the team you mentioned, Nouns Esports UCS Season 2, absolutely not how they drew it up for themselves, of course. I mean, they were so dominant in EU last year. This year, they had big rises and big falls. However, in those falls, it really allowed the rise of teams like Team Peps and Time to Shine to eke in. So Nouns is really trying to use this tournament to finally find their footing in this competitive UCS Season 2 and then cash in big like they were able to be the world's runner-ups last year.
Yeah, Nouns really was the pace car for EU last year, but of course this year it's been Tally Bobo believers. Yep. Nouns still an amazing team in their own right, and they're going to need to prove it right now as we head into our game number 1. Again, very important for Nouns. They need to get a win right here. They need to get this series tied up with Orangutan. Otherwise, Orangutan is punching their ticket to day 2 if they can win this match.
Well, if you look at the names on Orangutan, there should be a lot of familiar ones from UCS Season 1, of course. I'm looking at Ice from No Lucario, Z-Ray, Akura Shingdi, BKZ. These are all known quantities, certainly if you've been tuning into Season 2. But of course, familiar favorites from Season 1, quick K opener by the Leafeon. And that was a gutter pick going on top of Shingdi, getting the KO for the squad early.
It was actually a beautiful move there. So the Clefable went down first from Nouns Esports, but then the Leafeon caught it with that massive solar blade as we head down to the bottom path right here. Nice big Avalanche trying to push this into a position where they're able to secure it. And it looks like things are going pretty well here actually for Nouns Esports. That's almost a level 5 Delphox already early, which is a nice place to be.
Absolutely. However, on the other side, Z-Ray has that Alolan Ninetales online. Of course, Shingdi has the Leafeon going. We just saw that big solar blade, of course. And they've got an opportunity poaching all of the wild Pokemon to their side of the map is Gatlu, giving them all that experience there and really keeping Orangutan from taking over too quickly. That is a great work out of those 3 players in tandem to get a big-time KO on the Trevor.
Yeah, really starting this thing off early with a lot of aggression here in this bottom path, and they are continuing it right now as we see Adesu in this top path looking to push them back right here from this goal zone. But you're dealing with the healing from the Clefable and the Lapras right here. You can't even really fight them on their own goal. Nice eject button trying to pull back here, but it's just futile effort. You're not able to take them down. It looks like he's actually chasing onto the Clefable now. He says, look, I can't take the Lapras. I'm going for the Clefable. Missing the Sacred Sword right there. Continuing to push, looking for the KO. Gets the focus ban, but can't get a KO.
This has been an absolute insane top path sequence by Orangutan. And so much so that Adesu kind of got confused. They peeled down. Okay, maybe I can make it happen on the Clefable, but then switched back to try and get the Lapras. In the meantime, Stacks went in, and both players made it out unscathed.
Speaking of something happening in the meantime, we already have a level 8 Leafeon with the Unite move here at 7 minutes, 45 seconds basically. Nice little catch here in this top path. That Lapras finally goes down. It takes a village, as they say, but here comes the Leafeon to the top path as we see members of Orangutan pushing onto this tier 1. Nouns pushing them back.
Ice making their way out, but good amount of damage. They need to get Brub online right now. Finally taking over to the Trevenant. This again was a hallmark of the AOS Cup Nouns team, and Brub really leveled up on stage there, and they're hoping again to get some of that magic back because they're going to need it. Quick KOs going in, one the each way, but still 60 sticking up. Lapras buying time, and they make it out.
How unbelievably sad for Nouns Esports. That would have been a massive KO, a ton of experience going back the other way. A level 10 Leafeon right now in 7 minutes.
I mean, it's ridiculous to say the least. Finally, Nouns Esports is committing to an objective here, and Orangutan has an opportunity to make it in. The Leafeon's looking for the opportunity. Good wood hammer through the wall to stun the whole team. If they can get a KO here, that's a great door opened by Brub. The trio goes in, poaches Ice, no questions asked. Fanciful Fireworks are right on top, and they're using that to engage. They're picking up all the berries that they can on their retreat. Finally, Clefable leashes back in. Can they do anything here? Try and keep that reset. Quick KO on top of 60s. That's a place to start, and I can't believe they were able to protect that goal zone, as now Brub is on just between 3 players and gets smushed.
Yeah, and here comes Orangutan towards this tier 1 goal zone with the Leafeon. Huge moment right there. They go down. Adesu coming down, trying to stop something from happening, but no, getting pushed back by this Lapras right now. Nice big ice beam, and they're looking to take this down. The Perish Song, and following it up with this Leafeon, which is an absolute demon here on Eos Island.
I mean, this Leafeon, I mean, it's level 10. So it's getting to do a little bit what it wants, but it's the support and the follow-up from the other teammates that's allowing this Leafeon to keep getting bigger and bigger, just ticking over to level 11. Biggest thing on the map.
Yeah, incredible stuff right here. Obviously, we saw a nice fight there from Nouns Esports coming back into this match, especially experience-wise, but they are not yet back into this match score-wise, and we've not yet seen really Adesu do much on this Zacian here in the top path. Looking to make something happen here. No peeling back right now. Not able to take this fight.
I mean, the thing is the way that Zacian engages isn't great into a Clefable. It can just sit there, Trevor Unite right into the fanciful fireworks, and now Nouns Esports wants this goal zone. They got a quality KO here. They need to do their math right, need to get their points in. Stand on that thing so you make sure you get it. 16 gonna go in the other way, and of course Ice coming in with 24, quick math, 17 over dunk, and Orangutan holds on to their lead.
Yeah, nice big score there from Orangutan. Not a perfect overdunk or anything like that, but they're still up on the scoreboard. However, they still have that tier 1 goal in the top path without many points being scored on it. So Nouns has an opportunity to put points in that top goal. We have a bottom Reggie spawning, and no one is getting ready for it. Orangutan is actually heading to the top path as well, as Nouns is now starting to rotate down towards this bottom path. And it looks like Orangutan doesn't care at all.
No, not at all. They are committing to this Regieleki. They're going to take that thing down. Shredded is the Registeel. Unfortunately, Geese can get them up to the top path quickly, but I'm not even convinced they've started hitting this thing yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're planning on doing this top path. Regieleki now being chipped up. It's down at half. I don't think Nouns is going to be able to make it up there. In fact, they decided to send Dodrio Gatlu off to score. I think that's the right play for Nouns right here. They just couldn't have made it up there in time, so let's find another place on the map to put some pressure, try to even up this goal zone as we are now watching this Regieleki walk. And 4 members, looks like, are moving through the central area. Maybe 5 members of Orangutan moving through the central area towards this tier 2 goal zone. They have 2 members of Nouns down there to defend.
Well, Bruv reset and they collapsed on top of it. Gatlu is enough, and that is just 2 on 4, just enough to spook Orangutan and get them away from that goal zone. Orangutan, my big question, why did they wait so long on the Regieleki spray?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it looks like they did hold it for a moment there. Maybe they wanted to make sure they had great positioning in case Nouns was able to make it up there and they could win a massive team fight. Either way, that worked out better for Nouns. They were able to block them at their tier 2, both top and bottom, and they were able to score in that tier 2. So Nouns has this tier 1 goal zone open that they can really sneak off to and score at any moment. They have a Dodrio, which makes that incredibly easy. Nouns can even up this game pretty simply. However, Orangutan is fighting extremely well throughout this match, specifically Xingdi on this Leafeon.
Well, it has been caught up in level, and they're going on the Zacian, spaced out well with the Blizzard Avalanche. They're still collapsing on top of Ice, who makes it back to their goal zone. Those fanciful fireworks are out, but just like that picture you took in 2016 on your cell phone, ain't nobody looking at those fireworks. Finally, Nouns is going to score some points, but it's not off the back of anything. BKZ ferrying in a big tidal wave, stopping all those scores from going in, and all of a sudden the pivot is huge. 2 players down for Orangutan, so technically Nouns can still push, but Adesu's in the flux zone, seeing what kind of work they can do on top of this Lapras.
Adesu turning back around and actually is Gatlu on the Dodrio, who picks up the KO on that Leafeon. That is a massive KO, extremely high-level Pokemon right here. As we start to look at the levels right now, and somehow, Doobsnacks, you've got a 14 Delphox, 13 Dodrio. They're actually ahead on experience right now, and only 7 points separate these 2 teams as we head into Rayquaza. No bottom Reggie is going to be taken as members of Orangutan are getting ready for this fight. We have a Unite move on everyone but Delphox. We know Delphox gets its Unite move back in only 3 seconds, and there it is.
There it is indeed. Leafeon's going to hold tight around that top goal zone. I think the reason Orangutan sandbagged the Regieleki was so that there wasn't an opportunity for another one before this Rayquaza fight. But this fight is kind of kicking off up top. BKZ able to bully out the Dodrio from trying to score. Gatlu scrambling back to the middle. But that's exactly where some players from Orangutan are hanging out. all of Nouns Esports kind of clumped up.
Yeah, Nouns Esports really clumped up, but they were able to make a good score there. They are now ahead on the scoreboard right now. Nice big mean look onto the Trevenant, but that's not where they want to start the fight. We actually have a Unite move. Dodrio running away from this top path right here. And it looks like it was in a ton of trouble using its Unite to escape, but no one goes down as Adesu is fighting in the top path against this Lapras.
Rings are unbound. Adesu's low, and right back is Ice. They use that Unite move to just vaporize all the shields. Follow up. Fanciful Fireworks right in the middle. 60s gets the KO back on Ice, and they're trying to flip the script. Parasong is big. Geese is getting low. They're the first domino to fall, but 2 back the other way. Group P is looking firesome here. 60s gets low, but they get canned immediately. And all of a sudden, the player advantage is in the hands of Orangutan. The Parasong forces Adesu out, and now only people standing in the Rayquaza pit is one Gatlu, and the rest are Orangutan. Are they going to be able to suss out Gatlu? They do. BKZ bullies them out, and they're starting to shred. Clefable scrambling to score. Ice is off the respawn.
And now we got to see how many points Clefable can put on the board here, because this is going to put them up. It does. 218 to 259, so now they are stopping to hit this Rayquaza. Now Rayquaza is going very, very low. Adesu looking for the secure right now with this Unite move, but it might be too early. Here it comes.
It's too
Secured
early.
by the Hoop.
Jeez, with the hyperspace hole seals it up. We see that fist pump right there. Gatlu's like, I got buckled, but why do that? And we've got a support player here. Geese scrambling to score. Bruv's going to get that hundo banger in. Boom. Lack it up. They're in the lead now. 10 seconds left, and there needs to be some sort of push, but I just don't think there's enough time.
I don't think there's enough time, as it looks like Adesu has made its way down to that bottom goal, and now somehow is able to pull this out in the last seconds right there. Let's go, Nouns Esports!
I love that energy, and that's what they bring to the stage every time you see Nouns there. Spraggles. I mean, could have Orangutan rested on their laurels any more than that? They're like the king in Jungle Book. They just sat there, just goofing around, expecting other people to do all the work. And all of a sudden, 60s becomes the biggest character on the map, and they win themselves a game.
You know, I don't remember Jungle Book well enough to understand if that reference was perfect or not, but I think it absolutely was. We're going to send this thing over to Kello and Zoink so they can break down that Jungle Book reference.
I'm going to skip right on past that Jungle Book reference, actually. Get into Nouns Esports because their tournament is still alive. They are getting this game #1 win, which is so clutch in this specific matchup. If they win against Orangutan 2-0, they have a very, very good chance of tiebreakers going their direction when it comes to those final selections.
That would definitely add some spice to the story, but as you mentioned, looking at this graph, it is super duper close at the end. Getting that Rayquaza right at the end, they were able to get those back halves, but look at this, the stats here.
Wow.
We have 60s here on the Delphox dishing out 76k damage.
Wow, I mean, what a team fight from them in those final moments. I mean, Delphox, of course, the biggest discredit to it in terms of compositions is that it really struggles early on. However, in that final team fight, finding so much value, it looked great. Let's run this game back and take a look at how Nouns Esports pulled ahead in our match with a 1-0 lead.
I know there were many heart-stopping moments, especially at the end there. I think I held my breath.
Yeah, I didn't breathe at all, and honestly, I'm really happy to still be here. That Leafeon from Xingdi really was terrifying time after time. Those Solar Blades looking for these big knockouts. However, Nouns Esports doing a very good job of playing around it. Honestly, what seemed to be the big story from Orangutan was either BKZ or this Lapras.
Yes, the Lapras, and we have seen Lapras time and time again today just being an incredible defender. But this Zacian getting caught out right there.
Oh, man, I mean, there's just so many tough spots, right? BKZ is caught up in that fanciful fireworks. I mean, Delphox's Unite is something that we talk about quite a bit. A really solid counter into Clefable, who does that AoE healing. You just put that Unite move right on top of it and counter that so well. Now, this is this final stretch here around this Rayquaza battle. Adesu has to rush all the way back in these scenarios, but 60's finding KO after KO is the major thing. The problem is BKZ stays up throughout all of this and becomes a huge problem for Nouns Esports.
Oh, they were a huge problem indeed, and you could see the Rayquaza right at low HP. This was the moment that I held my breath. I thought the Zacian was going to be able to charge it up and get that last hit, but thankfully we had the Hooper right there by its side to save Nouns Esports there.
What a moment. Gatlu gonna come away with player of the game. Ao's Cookie, attack weight, and that Razor Claw, so that double stacking value for them. Gatlu, obviously one of the best players in all of the world, but EU region as well, and they are on a very incredible roster of NOUNS Esports. You saw that pop-up after they won it. Everyone was very excited, and Adesu, in a different way than most, just really relieved that they were able to take that one, putting their head in their hands, but obviously so excited that they are still in the running to be into that top 8 bracket.
That was only the first match, Zoinks, though. Orangutan, they can possibly turn this around and take it to a game 3. But one thing sitting in the back lines there, I just saw a bunch of the crowd, as soon as NOUNS Esports took that Rayquaza, stand on up and give them a standing ovation. I thought that was beautiful.
Oh, this crowd definitely has some fans of NOUNS Esports within it. And I mean, some fans of Orangutan as well. Obviously, we talked about how successful this team has been. Now, Orangutan going to switch over to that Zacian ban. So take that one away from NOUNS Esports. Adesu not going to have that option 2 games in a row. NOUNS Esports, though, sticking to their plan of banning that Urshifu.
Yes, well, I guess that ability to pick that rapid strike or the single strike Urshifu, you do not want to come up against it. But Zacian, we obviously saw it last match. You do not want to come up against that legendary. Take it away. And it does leave the option for these defenders to be picked on up, though.
Wow, Orangutan actually going to take the Inteleon with that first pick, giving NOUNS Esports the chance here for double defender, but instead, we're going to grab the Lapras, which I'm shocked wasn't in that first pick position on the side of Orangutan, but instead, they are going to pair it alongside that Leafeon, such an incredibly powerful Pokemon in our tournament so far.
I think we have seen so many spectacular Solar Blade plays during this tournament today. So, depending on who ends up playing it on NOUNS Esports, but obviously because Lapras has been picked up, we have Umbreon being picked up by Ice, along with a Blissey as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of impact. Orangutan kind of showcasing they might go for something like a Venusaur pick later on in this draft as well, since they have that huge pocket-style support, and they don't have the Urshifu to pair with it. However, NOUNS Esports can play that a little differently. They are going to grab the Gardevoir and the Hoopa. So Geese Hoopa, again, that's a great showing from them, but now we get to see a Desu on a really powerful pick, but a late game scaling pick in this Gardevoir.
That is right. It has to get to that level 8, that full evolution, and it's all going to come up to that front line. Having that Lapras there, but is the Hoopa going to be enough of a front line unless they end up locking down another defender, another more tanky Amon? We'll have to wait and see. But I saw you flex your muscles because get ready, Machamp is here.
I am very excited to see the champ. The final selection for Gatlu seems to be debated quite a bit amongst the team. We're still rotating through, and the final pick is going to be that Alolan Ninetales, so a pretty hard commit towards this bottom path. Zire gonna be on this Machamp, and yes, I did attempt at flexing, not as much as the champ. They got the belt, though. I can give that one up. It's gonna be BKC on this Pokemon. Now, I talked about their Urshifu and how it's stuff of legend. If this player was going to pick a comfort pick, though, it is exactly the one they are on right now. The Machamp is a fan favorite, and of course, it's one of BKC's favorite as well.
But it's all going to come down, once again, a late scaling Pokemon. It needs to hit that full evolution. It does have that attack weight, so making sure to pump up those muscles, get in those stacks earlier on.
Yeah, and 60's going to be running the Focus Band on this Leafeon. Very interesting, a bit more of a defensive item. We often see the Energy Amplifier there, but a bit of a switch up. Let's see if Orangutan can get the switch up and bring this to a 2-2 scoreline, or if NOUNS Esports can take this one 2-0. Spraggles, Snacks, it's your turn.
It is our turn. What an incredible game 2 we have for you. Nouns is on the precipice of maybe tying up this bracket against Orangutan if they're able to do something right here. Incredible stuff. Obviously, we see the Zacian band out and we see the Urshifu band out. No bear necessities, the simple bear necessities. They do not have them in this game. I don't even know what that's from.
King Louie is the name of the monkey in the Jungle Book that I was trying to reference. And honestly, at this point, I'm not even convinced it's an orangutan, since you just hit me with the bare necessities thing here. We are going to take a look at this. I'm excited that Machamp is in here. It's always good to see some of those first, the Pokemon that were included when they were first released.
Yes.
Just kind of staying true and staying alive, right? Showing that, you know, old dogs can learn new tricks. That's a statement that people say.
Old dogs always learn new tricks, and that's what we're going to see with this Machamp. The real question is, can Machamp land its Unite move? because Machamp has two options. If it hits its Unite move, it's one of the most devastating things in the game. It carries 5 members of the enemy team away through a massive barrage of punches. And if it misses its Unite move, it's almost as tragic as Talonflame flying into a wall. I mean, it's one of the sad ones, for sure.
Sometimes Machamp goes to the Talonflame school of Unite moves and just absolute chucks it into the ether where no one actually is. We are back in the action, and unsurprising, Machamp taking that top path roll right there alongside that Chansey and the experience share.
And we've got this Leafeon heading up. They can possibly run to the top path very, very early if they would like. Adesu right now able to secure that central area for Nouns. Looks like they're in a lot of trouble right here. Maybe not even able to make it on home. Unfortunately, they have 9 points right now, so they'd be able to score with 5, but it's a lot harder with 9, and they pick up a big K opener.
Yeah, that's nice for the side of Nouns. They're just stay committed. They keep pressing their buttons, really making the Chansey work for it. They do grab both berries, which I guess is something you can write home about. But besides that, Nouns Esports making the right moves, staying in the pocket, getting the KO.
Wow, Nouns looking incredible right here. Somehow they've been able to out-secure this Inteleon in the bottom path, and it must be that Leafeon, of course, with that Solar Blade. We see 3 members of Orangutan in this bottom path, so the question is, are they going to push into this fight, and how bad could that be for Nouns? Side shot coming out, that's gone before it even comes up.
You just know how well Nouns Esports has the timing down. Those moves were already being put on the place where the Swablu and Altaria populate, and now they're trying to bully poor Akura, who is still a Chansey.
Yeah, this is just going to be tough for them in this top path. The Solar Blade has such incredible secure right here. They need their level 5. They're not able to find it yet. They need their level 4 on their Blissey. It looks like they are. They are hiding to peel off and score right here. They're stacking at him if they have one. I have to assume they do because they've just been so incredibly aggressive right here. They are able to take that right there. 3 big stacks. I mean, what a play. They're, of course, going to go down for it, but that's definitely worth it, using those special attack specs to make sure that they can get those massive heals as the match moves on.
That's an exchange they are happy to take any day of the week. We saw the Machoke just hanging out. BKZ not willing to get too frosty in the face of 60s here because they are getting big on this Leafeon. Biggest thing on the map, and their evolution on the counterpart on the other side. This is a big KO if they can get it. Ice locks it. No, Glaceon locks it in. That's even better. The Glaceon getting larger, getting that KO. Shingdi getting credit for that is massive as they keep putting the pressure on. Bruv forced to reset here through the hyperspace hole. So does Geese, and Bruv rolls back through. So does Geese as well as they're meeting in the bottom path. 30 seconds to the first objective.
That's right. Nice play there by Nouns Esports, able to get out of that situation. The Icicle Spears, they're a sure hit. They follow you all the way home, but when you're healing back at base, that's A-OK for Nouns. Huge amount of damage, just insane damage being thrown out right here, but enough of that went over to Nouns so that they could evolve, as Kello talked about a little earlier. They needed to hit that level 8 on Gardevoir, and they have. They've got 8 on Guardy, they've got 8 on their Leafeon as they get ready for this fight here in the bottom path. But we've got 2 Nouns members still in the top path being brought down by this hyperspace highway as Reggie has hit the map.
Reggie has hit the map indeed. Shingdi's playing forward. They're playing the Icy when they're trying to get that thing going. A nice little Avalanche Blizzard combo. Tons of damage locked in on Ice as they pull back. Who's going to catch the reset? Bruv does. They're going back. They're coming back through. Leafeon taking it down with the Solar Blade. 60's picking up the team and saying, we'll take this objective. Intelligently, though, Nouns not overextending their welcome, pivoting straight up top to the next thing.
Yeah, I can tell you, Nouns versus Orangutan really has been a story of these Leafeons so far. Both teams able to use them extremely well. Leafeon actually pushing in even further right here. Thought it was taking the whole home. It did not. In a little bit of trouble right here. Looks like they're going to pay for that. Unfortunately, they do go down. Maybe they should have made it back to base.
They should have tried at least, but the Machoke does go down. BKZ needs to find a new way, and they are submission cross-chop as well. So it's a great opportunity to try and poach some of the players from Nouns, put them on your side of the map, and get some quick KOs. However, the key target that they're looking for, the Leafeon, the Gardevoir, aren't too easy to grab when you're getting Avalanche Blizzarded away, and Lapras steps in to take the spot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really interesting Machamp build to see. You know, I think more often we see the dynamic punch. Machamp with a huge Unite move as they are coming in right here looking to pick up a KO on this Blissey. Scoring the egg does not stop it right there. And while this is a weak break, it's an extremely aggressive play here from Nouns. We see a Lapras Unite move. Looks like they're taking him up to the top path through that central area. We can see Orangutan trying to stop it right here, but getting absolutely caught.
Adesu buckling more players. Not only did they take the bottom objective goal zone, now they just took the top objective and another goal zone. 180 to 63. Nouns Esports is ahead, and they like to play from ahead. This is a cold, calculated team, and they know how to hold on to this thing.
What Nouns needs to do right now is make sure that they find all the experience on the map that they can. They've broken top and bottom goal zone here, and Orangutan is a smart enough team to know that that has given them access to tons of catch-up experience on this map. They could re-enter these fights leveled up and ready to go. We're going to have to see if that was the right play from Nouns. Obviously, positionally, they're in a power position without question, but level-wise, things can even up very, very fast.
Yeah, Ice running straight at the opposing team, and then we have the rings unbound. Stunning 2, Ice forced to go back. That EV passive was broken. Registeel leashes back. The damage is getting shelled in. Bruv getting space. It's actually Geese playing forward. That's going to see if they can get back the support on the Leafeon. Pivoting off the Registeel is Nouns, and just Bruv sitting in there trying to seal this thing up. It's a KO streak of 2. Machamp getting it on BKZ. Holy smokes. This ain't a seam. It's an arms race, and I'll tell you what, Machamp is in the lead of that one.
Yeah, look at this right here. Massive victory here for Orangutan as they take down the entirety of Nouns Esports in that fight. Incredible stuff right here, coming right back in this game, putting a ton of points on the board as they race towards this top path.
Racing they are indeed. The hyperspace highway for Nouns makes it a hair easier. Ice now level 10. They were 8 before that Registeel was taken. So that was a huge, huge play by Z-Ray to get the KO streak of 3 in tandem with the BKZ, KO streak of 2, and the objective.
Nouns still feeling pretty powerful inside this match. They're still up on the scoreboard right there, but they absolutely got hurt from that exchange. They did not want to give up all that experience. They did not want to give up all of those points. They do take this Reggie very easily. It's going to head towards the tier 2 here of Orangutan, but I'm not sure if Nouns is really going to be able to push this at all. They're sort of posturing that maybe they're going to send Gardevoir with it, maybe they're going to send multiple members of the team, as Hoopa absolutely caught out.
Yeah, I mean, the cross-chop submission did exactly what it was trying to do, poach a player. However, the Phantom Force came through, and they were able to retreat and get out of dodge here, but they're fighting on their goal zone. Bruv quickly sorted out by Glaceon. The ice types going to work at each other here. And now we have Alone of the Ninetales, another ice type going down. I'm telling you, Popsicles and Summer and Thea Sky Ruins, they are getting melted.
Nouns Esports trying to make something happen here, but they're just getting absolutely wrecked once again. I have to say, I don't understand this fight in the slightest from Nouns Esports. They're already ahead on the scoreboard. They throw everything they possibly can at this top goal zone. They're going to need to get their Unite moves back. Leafeon can get it pretty fast. Gardevoir is going to need to farm up really quickly because we only have 30 seconds here until Rayquaza. Obviously, they were looking to push this and make a real power play against Orangutan, but it did not work at all. Orangutan now in position to possibly take Registeel here before Rayquaza, and that could be a massive, massive boon for them.
Yeah, it really is, and you can see Orangutan wants this thing in a big way. Ice peeling off once the damage starts coming in to just buy time. Leafeon is waiting, and they might get a pluck on Ice right now, as Ice might get collapsed on. They take the Registeel. Ice intelligently backs up.
Yeah, here we go. We can see Machamp up in this top path, just continuing to farm up and get strong right now. Right now it is a level 13, so it definitely wants to stack its cross-chop stack so it can become more powerful inside this fight. With the Registeel buff and its Unite move, it can wipe Nouns Esports off the map if it catches them correctly. They are now starting to hit Rayquaza right here. They are behind, so they would love to be the ones to take it off the map.
Yeah, they're trying to pull in Nouns so they can get a favorable engagement here. Z-Ray hiding out. They're just shooting snipe shots, seeing if they can just deal chunks of damage. They get Yeez in a big way, who has to put a portal down immediately. Submission cross chop on top of Gatlu, who's moving through, forces out the snow globe. They get KO'd. BKZ's on fire. Cross chops away. Blitz assistance on top of Ice, and they're looking to bully in front of Geese. Adesu is so close to going down. They are 2 players down. They're moving through. The 60s on chopping block. Your kick flipped into the sun and smashed down on your head. Power Belt still stays with the champion. Now Bruv is on low HP. But Orangutan still needs to score, Spraggle.
They still need to score. They still need to take Rayquaza. They are hitting it right now, but Alolan Ninetales is back for Nouns Esports. They're running to the central area. Can they make it in time? No, they cannot. Secured by Orangutan, and now they're going to push towards these goal zones. 5 members of their teams with shields, and it's already evened up 248-237.
Z-Ray locking in the snipe shots at the right time, getting themselves an objective and a follow-up KO. BKZ used the crouch chop through the wall. Another Hundo banger going in. Hundo Burgers on the menu. Hundo Burgers getting eaten. And all of a sudden, Orangutan's up by almost 400.
Orangutan taking game number 2 right here off of Nouns Esports. Just was not able to get anything done in this final fight. Some huge catches there by Orangutan, and they are going to secure this. Move it on to a game number 3. And would we have it any other way at the World Championships? We've just seen so many game 3s today.
I mean, again, you can't undersell the strength of these teams on the world stage. They're excited to be there, obviously. They're trying to level up their game, and they're trying to do right by their team and their region. So it's no surprise that we have this type of performance. Ultimately, obviously want to get Kello and Zoinks to break this thing down. But before I pitch it to them, they knew to explain to me exactly what Nouns was doing, because it was a cluster.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's send it on over to them to break this thing down.
Thank you, you two. Yeah, I mean, that final team fight was really unfortunate. Orangutan definitely having the upper hand throughout the entirety of that one. Individual targeting looks fantastic. Nouns Esports pretty spread out, but let's take a look at the story of the entire match, though, as we take a look at our score graph.
Look, you can obviously see that spike in the end. Getting that Rayquaza, being able to get in those dunks 100, 100, 100, 100, and another 100 as well.
I mean, Orangutan brought a submission Machamp to this game, and they come away with a victory. It looked pretty clean. Big KZ on that comfort pick, coming away with 40,000 damage. Shindy with 84,000 on this Glaceon, but I mean, 60's putting up a very good performance on this Leafeon. 80,000 damage again, but I mean, the early game looked great, but after that, it seemed like everyone on Orangutan was catching up to 60's on that Leafeon.
I feel like this is just a regular day of Pokemon Unite.
Yes.
The amount of Game 3 situations that we have witnessed today is absolutely insane. It's just the ability, the comeback mechanics, that last final stretch to be able to possibly flip those tables on over and just cause a huge amount of chaos.
Yeah, I mean, chaos has ensued for sure. In that final team fight, I think maybe that is the perfect example of it. But, I mean, this tournament overall, I think that could be the storyline that we discussed the majority of today, and even some more. We'll have to see. Nouns Esports now tied up against Orangutan 1-1. Obviously, this makes their tiebreaker a lot tougher when it comes down to this final result, but Orangutan feeling pretty good about their position, currently sitting at 2-0 in their group, looking to make that 3-0 as they just tied that one up 1-1 now in our match. And I mean, Orangutan looked incredible in that game right there. I mean, Nouns Esports, well, they were struggling to hold a candle to him in those final moments.
Well, that's the thing. It's the ability, as I said, to just flip it on over. They look strong. We thought, I was sitting there. Nouns, are they going to be able to take this? But all things considered, hey.
Yeah, it turns out Orangutan having the full advantage there. A submission, Machamp looking amazing. Their Umbreon play also, I thought, was really, really solid in that game. So Orangutan obviously have earned their place here on the World Championship stage to be playing against a team like Nouns Esports. And of course, we got to watch that one back again because it was a really interesting game too.
Definitely interesting, but I feel like all of these games are interesting here. Obviously, all of these team fights that are just happening throughout this match. We have Leafeon on the Solar Blade being able to lock down that objective.
I mean, Leafeon for your early game, Gardevoir for your late game, it makes sense on paper. However, this Alolan Ninetales pick was really interesting. The rotations from Giza's Hoopa made it look really good. However, the shutdown from this Machamp onto this Pokemon was extremely strong.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think Machamp is a very popular all-rounder to be picked up. But not having the Urshifu there, it is a good substitute, and just the suppression that those muscles provide to be able to flip him over.
Yeah.
Machamp or Buzzwell, who is the musclier Pokemon?
I mean, so far it seems to be Machamp. We're going to be headed into draft number 2. Now, what does Nouns Esports want to ban away? They're going to stick to their pocket of that Urshifu. It's been their constant ban all day long, or at least in this matchup that we've seen here on stage. Orangutan, though, it looks like they're a bit different on the decision to stick with that Zacian ever since game 1, respecting that pick a little bit too much. They're going to ban that one away, and now we're going to be looking at a fresh draft. Nouns Esports in that first pick position, meaning that they do have the option for that Lapras or Inteleon, which really seems to be a coin flip of what Pokemon gets grabbed in that first spot.
Well, it looks like we've flipped the coin, and oh wait, there we go. We've just flipped it back on over, and it's an Inteleon.
Yeah, exactly. It's where you hit on your hand and then you reveal it. It's a little bit different. I think that's how that works. Orangutan, though, going to grab the Leafeon and the Lapras. So no Leafeon for 60s this time around. However, the game they won was off the back of Delphox for 60s. So maybe we see a more creative pick to round out their selection for that player as well. However, Orangutan's composition so far, just a very, very strong meta composition. Problem is, you're going to be giving Nouns Esports their choice of support, and they're actually going to grab the Blissey, going away from the Hoopa pick that they've done in both games 1 and 2.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what they end up locking on in. It looks like they're hovering over a Hoopa and a Blastoise pick. Double Defender, once again, have that supporter by your side to be able to teleport them back home, get their HP recovery, but it leaves the option for Slowbro to be picked up.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a really good call from Nouns Esports, and 60s has played this quite a bit in the past, the attacker Slowbro. So they're going to be playing this one a bit more aggressively, but it's going to be also with the Aegislash from Gatlu. So 2 defenders is actually a great spot to play Aegislash. You're doing percent of HP damage on all those boosted auto attacks. It's a great Pokemon to try to cut through those huge HPs. However, I mean, there's a lot of other things that can shut you down. The Glaceon sure hits, and even Leafeon's burst damage can kind of take you unawares. That might be a tough angle for them to take. However, Aegislash plus Blissey Unite move seems pretty good to me, Callo.
I think Blissey Unite move with Umbreon, Blissey Unite move with the Aegislash as well, even Blissey Unite move onto the Inteleon. It is such an incredible Unite move to have on hand. But obviously, you have Hoopa on the opposite side to be able to teleport your whole team into one position if needed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested to see Ikura's Hoopa play, but we are headed into Game 3 between Nouns Esports and Orangutan. Casters, take it away.
I mean, what a series this has been so far, and you can see the hype for Nouns in the crowd. Orangutan looking fantastic at the end of game number 2 here. However, Nouns putting on an impressive show in game 1 and 2 throughout these matches.
Yeah, so if I'm Nouns, you just got to clean up that play. I mean, we had the weird Regieleki push thing that went sideways, like an unfortunate Rayquaza fight, as Zoinks called it out, but Nouns was winning. And up until that point, credit to Orangutan for being able to step up and take those opportunities when presented, but ultimately, that was a gift from Nouns.
Absolutely, as we head in here to game number 3 between Nouns Esports and Orangutan. We have the Aegislash from Nouns heading into this central area, and obviously a very different look from this team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw Aegislash before. We weren't sold on it. This might be an opportunity for it to be back on the market for us to buy, because Aegislash hasn't been seen since the last World Championships in a dominant fashion, so yeah, it's on you, Chief.
We saw it a little bit earlier today, and I'm not sure, I honestly don't remember if it won or if it lost, but for sure, not a lot of teams are picking up this Pokemon anymore. We're going to see what Nouns can do with it. They have such a deep roster of Pokemon. They might be able to do something really incredible here with it in game 3.
That's the hope, as we have a little bit of Razor Leaf action here. Xingdi back on the Leafeon, of course, or well, I say Xingdi as we're watching them on the Glaceon. Always on an evolution, this one.
Yeah, they love the Eevees, and who doesn't? Able to be powerful here at level 4 and just set up some amazing moments for the squad. Getting ready right now for this fight at the 850Bs. We have Gatlu down here in the bottom path. Just looking to see if they can pick something up right here with the Shadow Claw on the Aegislash. I love to see it.
You love to see it indeed. Z-Ray there, Ice as well, been their good defender player, really great at buying the space that they need, and they keep putting the pressure on. Tons of damage being rained in Z-Ray though, so they played a little too far forward. Was Ice, Bruv was able to move right around them and get a quality KO.
And here we go, Xingdi heading down to this bottom path right here as they're continuing this push, and it looks like Nouns could be in some trouble right here. Bruv getting caught by the massive Icicle Spear. The damage was too much. It goes down the hyperspace hole, sending that Lapras on back home.
Yeah, a good little follow-up with the hyperspace hole to get the KO by Orangutan there, and really close down the door on Bruv because they were getting a little large in the face of this team.
And here we go. We see the central area just being cleaned up right now by Orangutan. No one from Nouns is here to do anything about it, as we have a level 7 on this Glaceon, almost level 8, which will give them the first Unite move here of the game. They can put that pressure on and do something pretty incredibly mean to Nouns the next time they see them. Also, Leafeon getting somewhat close. It is level 6 itself.
Ice putting tons of pressure on Adesu, and Bruv are going to try to give some cover, but Z-Ray getting credit for the KO very quickly. And now we'll see if they can keep and flip the script onto Bruv. Parasong comes out, no quality follow-up. Of course, Z-Ray just backing up, trying to get some more HP.
We can see up here in the top path, we got a little bit of a fight breaking out as we continue fighting over this experience here in the bottom path. Nice big icicle spear, and we have the slow bro going down. We also see the Blissey is in a lot of trouble. The egg bombs will not be enough. They go down as well. Nice big double KO for Orangutan.
I mean, Xingdi leveraging these icicle spears incredibly well. A moveset we haven't gotten to see at all this UCS Season 2, and it's having a great showing on the stage. I actually said Icy Wind because I'm so used to saying that in Game 2, but it's been Icicle Spear the whole time.
Yeah, Icicle Spear has been a very powerful choice throughout this season, of course. There was even a point where it could not be played. It was so powerful. And now we can see Bruv into the face right here of Orangutan, looking to pick up a KO, and they do. Regirock getting very little bit secured there by Gotlu.
Great use of that coup de grace directly on the Regirock. Big sword not getting pulled from the stone, getting buried in one as they're able to take that objective, exchange one KO each way. We're going to see if we can get more. Great shut down by Xingdi. KO streaks of 2 back both ways as the pressure continues, but Z-Ray uses their Unite move, and all of a sudden Orangutan lost the objective, but got a better of an exchange. Z-Ray bailing out.
I said this, you know, in the previous game, and it really has been just so many impressive plays from both of these teams with Leafeon. Leafeon is crushing it for both Nouns and Orangutan. So many huge moments, so many massive multi-KO fights for this Pokemon. It's been so impressive.
Impressive without a doubt, and I'm glad to have been wrong from the first showings that we saw, where it was maybe a little bit middling. I mean, it's really coming alive here. And look at the work in tandem between Xingdi and Z-Ray, able to jump on top of those Swablu, shelling a ton of damage. Bruv can't even hang out and try to engage there, or even buy time for Gotlu. And everybody is on the back end of Nouns Esports. Orangutan putting on great pressure here.
Yeah, Orangutan's doing incredible right now. Speaking of Orangutan, we just got word, if Orangutan wins this match right here, they secure their spot in day 2. They move forward. Nouns Esports would move to a possible tiebreaker, and what they would need is RRQ to lose their next match that they have coming up. So a lot could happen right here in this game. Both of these teams need this victory.
Slow beam on top of BKZ. A Blastoise that was left unencumbered in the top half hit level 9 pretty quickly. Uses their Hydro Typhoon. Nobody really in the follow-up. They do get the kill on the slow bro. Nice stun of 3 by Akura. And can they translate that into anything? Of course not. Adesu says KO streak of 3 for me on the liquidation here. Shut down by BKZ as they get back in the mix quickly. The stuns are still coming, but Akura's about to shrink real quickly. Bang, there it is. And a surf on the retreat by BKZ as they're sitting on a portal, and they're gone.
Yeah, even with Mean Look, they're able to head back home through that hyperspace hole as Nouns is ready for this Registeel in the bottom path, but we also have members of Orangutan making their way down. We've got the Aegislash down there, and we have the Leafeon down there looking to brawl over this Registeel. We're going to see who has the better secure. Leafeon coming in with the Unite move, and they're able to take it away.
Right under the nose of Gotlu in that Aegislash with beautiful Hollowware, by the way.
Gorgeous.
And great play by Z-Ray, really stepping up for the team. A little one-on-one action, letting Gotlu do a majority of the work, and then snatching all that hard work out from under him.
Here we have BKZ once again hanging out in that central area, just shut down by the Mean Look here. Nice scald from Sixies right there, putting some damage onto the side of Orangutan as they are trying to defend this goal zone right here. So many members of Orangutan back through that portal.
Glaceon Unite is out, but look at how far forward Gotlu was. They get just broken in half, and now the Icicle Spears are raining in on Bruv, another great target for them. If Bruv can't frontline and Meat Look, then they can't really stay in the fight and engagement, and all of a sudden Orangutan up 182 to 167, and the experience is in their favor as well.
Experience in their favor, score in their favor, and even open goal zones essentially in their favor. They've got this tier 1 goal zone for Nouns. Now, Nouns can use that to their advantage in some of their fights, peel back to it. They have an extra flux zone, but at the same time, they have an open goal zone that's just sitting there, and Orangutan is already up, so they can peel away from a Rayquaza fight, not even win the fight, but score an additional 100 points in that bottom goal. It's going to put Nouns in a really, really tough spot right here. Fortunately, take a look at this. We've got a Desu almost level 14 on this Inteleon.
Level 14 on the Inteleon and level 13 for BKZ on the Blastoise. Two great positions to be in for those characters, of course. Now we're moving through. We're just watching. Little conservative play out of Orangutan. They don't want to overextend into this Nouns Esports team. They know what Bruv on that Umbreon can do with the mean look, lock players down, and really get good catches. So if Akura isn't there for the save, this can spell disaster for them. Ice moves forward, gets caught quickly, tons of damage being rained in, and a nice little portal by Akura.
Yeah, nice portal by Akura, but they caught them. They got that focus band, which is a huge way to survive throughout this Rayquaza fight, and it matters in a big, big way. BKC hiding in this tall grass, moving down for this fight right here, and it looks like there's another catch here by Nouns. Ooh, massive surf right here. Blizz assistance keeping the Inteleon safe.
Oh, the slow beam comes off just in time. BKZ is able to use their Hydro Typhoon and surf. They're collapsing back on the other team. The hyperspace hole is open. We have a little telekinesis. They're trying to pull back on Z-Ray, who's their night move, but they get caught immediately. They get folded. One player down on each side, and it's great secure tools. Bruv is low. They eat an egg real quick. Orangutan playing back to their side of the map, and that Blastoise is coming back with tons of HP. They're blinked out. Still one player down for each side, but it's Bruv that's low, and they get KO with a big surf. They get absolutely drowned out there. Oh, the Hoopa goes down by the other support with the big egg bomb. A Desu leashes away, and oh, the liquidation! And that's why liquidation is sick. And now the Blizzy gets credit. Geese is on fire. 4 players down, and it's just the Leafeon Spraggles.
The Leafeon is looking for a steal right here. It does not have a Unite move. It's going to jump in. It has one opportunity. Can Nouns secure this in front of the Leafeon? They take it down! Nouns takes it down, and Rayquaza goes down. Nouns is now going to push and score right here. Orangutan has not secured their spot to day 2 just yet. Nouns has the points raining in right now. Slowbro able to score in the bottom path. Inteleon in the top path. Points raining into this central goal zone. Nouns is way up. They are going to win this series, but they have not qualified for day 2. Now their fate is in the hands of another team.
Listen, this Nouns Esports had their back against the wall. They stepped up and figured it out. What they didn't do is win this thing 2-0 to give themselves the best opportunity. Orangutan flustered that. I'm taking a look at Nouns. This was a much more Nouns Esports games that we're used to seeing. That game 2, I don't know what that was, but I'm glad they got it out of their system.
I'm glad they got it out of their system too. The only question is them getting that game out of their system the thing that stops them from moving to day 2. You never want to leave it up to the refs. You want to throw the knockout punches, and Nouns is the kind of team that can do that. Was it enough? We will find out as the day goes on, but that's Nouns Esports for you, looking incredible here in game number 3.
They are a team that can stumble and fall out of the gate and still manage to run a great race. However, in this bracket, in this format that we're in for Worlds, with these group stages, there isn't any real estate to stumble, and because of that one game that Orangutan was able to peel off of them after a less than stellar performance, all of a sudden, like you said, it's out of their hands now.
It is out of their hands, and the question is, what will happen here? Nouns Esports taking a really nice victory against Orangutan, but you have to compare what they've done against the entire group. They went 0-2 against Rex Regum Keon, so we're going to have to see what happens with the Rex Regum Keon game. Obviously, these two teams, you know, a ton of sportsmanship between them, an absolute war between these two squads, and they are really incredible.
I mean, Orangutan played out of their gourds. A lot of good highlight moments. I mean, that Machamp in game 2 really just gave them a breath of fresh air and a breath of life to make this run into game 3. However, Nouns Esports buckled down, got it done, and look at it, Desu. I mean, I'm kind of cheating here because I see the number on the screen, 13 KOs by a Desu. They were massive by the end of the game.
Yeah, that is the Inteleon that some of these teams are bringing here to Worlds. We knew it would be a power pick. We knew it would be such an incredible Pokemon. If you put someone on a Desu piloting that thing, and it's really incredible.
Incredible indeed. I'm taking a look at these teams. They're hugging it out. They're congratulating each other. They know what the situation is here for both of them. And to be quite frank, now we just have to wait and see with this RRQ game. Let's take a look at the highlights here from game 3, Spraggles.
Yeah, I mean, what a match. Both of these teams looking incredible right here. We see a massive KO there in the bottom path. This is when this Glaceon just absolutely took off in the top path for Orangutan. Reggie, Rock being taken down right here. Nice secure there from Nouns. And you know what? The sword really did do it for him in this match.
Yeah, I mean, it did, I guess. I was really watching a lot of the other play, you know, like a Desu specifically, Geese cracked off. I mean, even Bruv, who's usually like a hallmark of their engagements, was having just, you know, kind of, I don't know if I want to say a medium game for them, but they're such a phenomenal player, that just kind of works. But ultimately, I'm looking at a Desu who really came to life like we saw last year at Worlds on that Dragonite, where every time they were taking an objective, it was following up with KOs. Here, it was everybody that stepped in line was getting drowned in buckets of water through that liquidation, and that was the difference maker to me.
And now we can see Hoopa pushing forward right here inside this fight. There's a massive telekinesis right there on the Lapras. Huge Scald hitting 3 members right here. And Inteleon with that Unite move. Beautiful Fell Stinger to pull it close enough to hit the liquidation onto that Glaceon. 4 down, and instead of even giving Leafeon a chance, they just wipe it off the map.
Love that play, and I really like they had a great consolidated moment here. It was on the Blastoise, slow beam into the follow-up Unite move into liquidation, and that really took them off the block. Yes, they got the Hydro Typhoon off, but after that, they were so low HP, it didn't matter. And of course, a Desu getting the nod for player of the game. I mean, tons of damage, tons of points, and 13 KOs, every single one mattered.
What an insanely good performance from Desu. What an amazing performance here from Nouns Esports. I mean, it's just incredible to see them up on the main stage representing EU. They've played so well all year, and I don't know, that might be the last time we see Nouns Esports here at the World Championships.
I mean, if you'd have told me that a year ago, there's no way I would have believed you at all. However, we have Sixies on stage ready for an interview. It's right here. Let's go to it.
Thank you so much, you two. That's right. I have Sixies from Nouns Esports. After a very incredible best-of-3 set that went down to the wire, you came away with the win, an impressive one. Obviously, day 2 isn't assured for you, but there's still a chance. How important did this game feel on stage for Nouns Esports?
I mean, this was our most important game. Honestly, not being able to 2-0 them is pretty rough because right now we kind of have to rely on EXO to like at least take off 1 game from Rex. And if that isn't the case, then we're sadly out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot. However, in that game 3, your team looked amazing. You brought out the Slowbro Attacker, and you played things from Slowbro Attacker to Leafeon in this match. What's the secret to being such a flexible player like you are, Sixies?
I don't know. I kind of did a lot of roll swaps throughout the past 2 years, so I feel like that is maybe an advantage as to why I can play different stuff. So I think that's why.
Fantastic. All right, well, last question, Sixies. Is there anything that you want to say to the many, many Nouns Esports fans that are out there?
I mean, obviously, shout out to all the fans. Shout out to my family that flew all the way to Japan here, and my girlfriend. I love them. Honestly, couldn't be more happy without their support. Shout out to my teammates. They still played amazingly well. Shout out to all the enemies that we faced today. Shout out to everyone I met. You're all great. Yeah.
Good to hear. Tons of shoutouts.
EXO wins.
Yeah.
EXO, let's go!
Biggest EXO fan here. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sixies. We are going to be jumping to a very short break, but we will see you all right after this.